in this lesson, we will continue to revise on the project tracking subject. So let's first put the project start date to about 10-15 days behind from whichever date you are viewing this lesson. Okay. So this is just so that you can see the project plan tracking in an execution mode. On the screen now, I have my project file open, which is continued from all the previous lessons. And you can see that this green line here indicates the current date in my schedule. So I am approximately, you can see 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks away from the schedule. Ideally, you should update progress with a weekly interval. And I do this day before I have to send my own weekly report to stakeholders. You should ask for team status update a day even before that. I'll go through the tracking process step by step now, like a checklist for you to follow. Step 1. Revisit the project calendar. Are there any updates to the team working times now? You probably do not have to do this every time, but it is a great thing to update the project calendar frequently to keep this on your list. So go to the project tab and then click on the change working time. For me, it has not changed, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Next thing, I go and create a baseline. I cannot tell you enough how important this step is. Without a baseline, you cannot track variances on your project. You can't demonstrate your excellent project management skill if you do not know the baseline effect. So click on this Set Baseline in the Project tab. Set Baseline, you just have to click on that and click on Set Baseline. Yes. So now a dialog box will pop up. And if you're doing this the very first time for the project, make sure you are saving the entire project. The first baseline is selected here. So I'm just going to click on OK. But before that, let me tell you about the baselines. You have the option of going from baseline 0, which is just a baseline, to baseline 10. That means Microsoft Project gives you 10 ways of how you're going to save a project and its variance. So basically, even in a complex project, you can save the variance up to the 11 times, which is starting from baseline 0 to baseline 10. So I have saved my very first baseline. Now you can see the date also appears here. As you can see, the date also appears here on this dialog box. So now let me quickly show you how I did that. After saving the baseline, I went to the project tab again, clicked on Set Baseline and again on the Set Baseline option. And here I can see the date, which is as of today, because I have saved the first baseline today itself, around few seconds back. This date should be for the date when your team reported the progress and not for the date when you are updating the plan file. Very often, this will be offset by a day or two, and it may seem like a very simple thing. But if you're running teams with 20 or more members, a single day can mean your update is off by a person month of effort. Just keep this in mind if it is relevant to you. How you can set the date is click on the status date, which is again in the project tab. You can just click here, which is status date. For now, it was showing as not applicable, if you could have seen. So this is the default date, which is as of today, and you can make the changes in the date as per your status. I'll just select the previous date like this and then say OK. The step 4 is to know actually tracking of your schedule. I'm just going to use the two methods I showed just now. I'm going to select my task like this, and the task tab is going to go here. The second technique is to select your task. If you want, you can select them in bulk, multi-select and click on the mark on track button. So I'll just select few, then I'll go in the task menu and I'll click on mark on track. Now you can see that you have also marked all these tasks. So everything that has been marked 100% will have this inner blue thick line go all the way till the end of the schedule. Can you see this inner blue thick line? This is what you mean by marking a task. Now, to more accurately mark progress, you have to pull up the task information dialog box. Now, I'll go back to the task again, and now I'll look for the task information dialog box, which is here, which says view task information. So you can do that from the ribbon like I just did, or more easily you can just double click on the task and the dialog box will open up. Here you can enter any accurate number to indicate the percentage. I'll show 90% done, for example. Let me just open the task first. I'll click on this task and I'll go to task information, and here I will mark the percentage as 90%. So I'm done with marking progress for my plan here, and just click on OK, and the task is 90% complete. So let us just go and see the task here. See, if you can see, now the inner line is not from the start till end. The inner line is from the start, but few points before end. That means that the progress of this task says that it is 90% complete. So this is how you can mention the progress of tasks in a project plan, so that you do not have to remember the progress every time you want to look into the plan. So there are even more advanced and powerful tracking techniques. We will be looking into the future section coming up, and they are going to give you a very fine degree of control on your updates. Moving on, we will look into the task views and the data, what needs to be filled in, the date constraints and flexibility.